All right, guys, so I'm going to walk you through here how to add products, and I'm just scrolling across the top here to show you the different product categories for each product. And you'll see here that we're still in Google Drive. When you open the product, that's where it'll send you. When I send you guys these Google Doc sheets, but we will eventually switch over to Google Sheets to do the edits. On the right-hand column, you'll see all of the comments. So we've actually tagged each of the cells in the spreadsheet with notes so that you guys don't get lost. Let's scroll here back to the beginning. And you'll see, again, the notes. So if you drag over or click, you see the notes here on the right-hand side. In Google Drive, they'll actually pop up over the cell sheet. Here you could see you don't have to change the second shell here. You could see that the descriptions are also there. And we'll go through this in detail, so don't have to worry about it really at this point. I just want to give you a preliminary view of what it looks like. Now we'll open up Google Sheets and we'll actually look at the document itself. So again, this is an Excel format. It's Google Sheets, but it's basically Excel, and it's an XLSX. So we're going to have to export it not as an XLSX or an Excel, but actually as a CSV at the very end. So let's start with the first column. Sorry, we're having a little bit of a glitch. Let's go back. The first column doesn't have to be changed. So we'll go to only the columns that are marked in brown, and there you'll see they are few and far between. So start with the first column, which is title. Okay. Here you can see the notes for the title. This is the title, and also the size for the description. Again, here is the description. Here are the notes. The notes for tags, which are basically just like categories. And again, you could just copy paste if you need, or you can retype. And the same thing for tags. I apologize, I said tags earlier, I meant type. But so here are the main types and all the different tags you can use underneath them. Make it super easy for you. So just find the type that you were in the last column, and then find the tag that as closely as possible describes your product. Isn't this great, guys? It's gonna take a little bit longer, but it's all right, man. We'll get through this, guys. It's pretty straightforward. I mean, you can see even some sections have things about gluten-free. You'll notice there's stuff about vegan. They are specifically tagged. So if you do sell a product that's plant-based or vegan or gluten-free and grain-free, things like that, it's all there for you. And you can tag them under each section appropriately. Just want to make sure we go through everything because we have different types of producers on here. So you guys know who you are. And you can always show less. And the same is true for every line. So each line is a different product, right? So here you can see there's the product title, and there's also the quantity there. And it's on the notes, so you can actually select the amount of each bag or the amount of each container or jar or whatever it is that you're selling. If it's just 12 pieces of carrots, or if it's 12 bags of 11.5 ounce bags, it's all here. You can always go back to these notes, and you can always go through them and see them. Take your time. There's no reason to rush. We want this to be perfect, right? So most of you only have about, I don't know, say a max 30 SKUs. We're not Acme Smoked Fish with 500 SKUs, but just take your time, make sure you're using the right language, make sure you're using the right editing, apps if you need help with spelling. Make sure you go and send them through your Google Docs if you need. If you want somebody to look over the grammar, you can. There's absolutely no rush to get your products on Farm2Me. Here again, you'll see that you want to use the same email for each account. The reason we use email is because we can associate that email with the account that you signed up with. So we know that that, for example, could be a Tino, or that could be Farm2Me, or that could be whatever that is. So you want to edit there. For type, again, we're just picking the type that you are, whether you're a dairy producer or you're selling beverages. I just want to use the same, so you can either copy that or you can type it, but just make sure it's spelled properly. And again, with tags, as described earlier, you just go and find the type that you were in, and then find the tag underneath there. And again, we want to use those specific tags and those specific types with the spelling. That's how we'll identify who you are and what category and specifically what class. That'll help the customers basically search for your product. So it'll come up under the chips or the jars or the salt category in search. You can leave that column. Again, anything that's not brown, you can just leave. Or if you do create another row, just make sure you copy and paste any data that is in that white column into that row. And that's the same quantity you're going to find in title. And just the quantities themselves and the amounts. You can copy it and paste it, or you can see here it's actually written in the opposite order, and it's perfectly fine, whichever is easiest for you. And these are all blank, so you don't have to worry about adding them to your new rows. Here we are now back in SKUs. Again, this is the SKU that you use in your product. So if you have a packaged product or you're a farm and you do have SKUs on your produce, you can do it there. Here we have the marketplace that we're using. In this case, it is Shopify. We may actually create additional marketplaces using other technology, but for now it is just Shopify. You can copy and paste Shopify in each euros. Here you could find quantities. We just listed as an unlimited amount because most of your producers on Farm2Me are producing on demand, since it's all handmade. So just put like something like 1 million for each of your products. Again, the brown is just the products, the values that are changing. So here's a varying price. Just set the price you want per bulk item. So if it's a $35 bulk 6-pack, or if it's a $57 bulk case, you can put your bulk price there. And again, as I was saying earlier, the clear columns are just columns that are not changing or blank, so you don't have to worry about them. But you do have to make sure that if there's something of value in one of them, to add it. Here in your next couple rows here is about taxation. So if you are taxing, please change that to true. If your products are produce, then non-taxable, please leave it as false. If it's false, it's not taxed. If it's true, it's taxed. Collections, the same thing as your type. So you can either copy and paste from earlier, or if you want to take your time to make sure it's correct, again, you can just type it out or just copy paste it from the list. And just you can go back and just compare it to your type to make sure it's the same. These are your images. To find the images, we do require images with white backgrounds, all white backgrounds. The way when you do find that image and you want to copy the URLs, you find the image on the website, and you can actually just right-click it anywhere on your website, any website that has your product, and it'll ask you to copy the image link. That's the image URL, not copy the image itself. Copy the image link URL. You can copy that once you click that, and it'll store it in your clipboard, and then you can go right back down to this Excel spreadsheet and then copyright and then paste, and it'll paste that link right here. And that's what we need. We really need that link to that image that you're referring to with that white background. If you don't have a white background, you can always just contact us. You guys know my personal email is Gary. If not, you can email us at accounts@farm2.me. and that's that. We'll take photographs for you. Just delete this additional information. Just delete those lines. The lines will remain, but just delete that information when you're done, and you send us, back the products as you're finished. Here's how you're going to save the product. So what you want to do is you want to go to File, Download, and you want to export it and save it as a CSV file, not an XLSX, which is what it is right now, a CSV. So again, we're going to go to File, drop all the way down to Download. Not save as, but download. And then we're going to download it as a CSV file. And that's it. The reason I left those lines down there in lines 14 and 16 is because I'm just saving it for the next slide. But we want to delete those files. So again, we're going to go and we're going to save it. We're not going to open it with a file. We're going to save it. And you see here in the file, the extension now is changed to .csv. So we're going to save the file, and it's going to download automatically into your download folder, whether you're on a PC or you're on a Mac. We're going to open up that folder. I'm sure there's going to be a ton of different screens here. Yeah, I'm just going to move all this stuff out. And I'm going to open up the downloads folder, and you can see here it is at the very top of that downloads folder. So again, whether you're on a PC or you're on a Mac or any computer that you're using, it'll automatically save it to your downloads folder whenever you're using a browser. We're going to go back up. Wrong browser, go back to the other browser, and you're going to do this again. So we're going to go back to File, down to Download, over to CSV, and then it's going to ask us if we want to save it or if we want to open it. We want to save it. So we're going to adjust it to make sure it's on save. And again, it's going to download it right into the folder. It's not even going to ask you what folder to put it in. It's going to download right into the folder. And you can either click that arrow, or you can open up, if you know how to navigate through your computer, to your download folder. And again, you'll find it there, .csv. Thanks.